Welcome to Civilian Jeeps. I'm Jake, and today we're down in the garage because we're working on my 95 Wrangler YJ, the Rio Grande edition, and I'm excited about this. This is Project Cheap Jeep, and I bought this thing cheap, $3,000, and it's got a little bit of a misfire though, and that's what I'm tracking down hopefully to fix today. We're going to be doing a distributor, which also has the camshaft position sensor in it, which I think that's the problem. So distributor, coil, wires, and plugs is what we're going to be doing today. Hopefully this fixes this Wrangler YJ. So stay tuned and let's dive right into it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is the distributor and the camshaft position sensor. Now this is really not that hard, although some people make it more challenging than it needs to be. Now on the distributor, on this 2.5 liter, yes, this is the inline 4, basically the same as the inline 6 except it has 2 less cylinders. This is the inline 4, the gerbil power right here, and if you know what I'm talking about, these things aren't very powerful at all. Much rather have the inline 6. But this just happened to be what come in this thing. All Rio Grandes had the inline 4. So anyway, this is your distributor down here. If I can get to it, I'll show it to you a little better. Now what we're going to be doing is taking this distributor out and then replacing it with a brand new distributor right here. And whenever I was looking over the engine, I noticed that there are paint marks, which makes me think somebody's already been in here. They got it labeled cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think the person before me thought this was a fuel issue. So maybe somebody did something with the fuel, because my fuel rail here, the fuel lines are marked 1 and 2 as well. Somebody's already been in this thing. And this could have already been replaced. I have no idea. But I don't think it has. So before I start, you'll see a lot of videos out there that tell you that you need to go to top dead center on this motor to be able to pull this distributor, and that's just not true. Now, if you were not at top dead center and had the distributor out and the Jeep moved, like you hit the starter, you know, the engine turned over, then you'd have to follow the procedure for top dead center. But if you keep this distributor in the exact same spot with the new distributor and the engine being in the exact same spot, you can just align yourself with these marks that I'm about to make and then just pop your new one in and your timing will be correct. Now on this 95, this is a PCM related timing, so you don't have to set the timing with a timing light. So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to take this rotor cap off and take it out, the distributor cap, and then we're going to take the rotor button out. We're going to mark everything, and then we're going to take the cam position sensor out, and then take the bolt down here, the hold down bolt for the distributor, take it off, and then pull it out and then replace it with this new one right here. Now the reason I really think it's the camshaft position sensor, my issue, if you've seen my first video of this Jeep, I put it in there, and what it's doing is it's got like a hesitation and it pops once it gets warmed up especially, and I think it's coming, there's a popping noise coming from the distributor, and the symptoms seem like the camshaft position sensor. But when you go to the hardware store, the O'Reilly's Auto Parts store, this cam or distributor right here that has the cam position sensor in it, this right here, as you'll see a little later, it was the same dang price, or almost. I mean, it's just a few dollars off from just buying the whole distributor, so why not just put the whole distributor in it? So anyway, let's replace this, and we're only going to do stuff one at a time. Now I know I might be rambling on, but please listen to this. Even though I'm doing plugs, wires, the distributor with the camshaft and the coil and all that, just do stuff one at a time. Like, you don't want to possibly fix your problem, then open up another problem you don't even know where to start because you did 4 things at once. So we're going to start with the distributor and see if that fixes our problem. So the screws on the rotor cap the distributor cap have been loose, and now I can lift it straight off. Now if you're curious and you need to take these wires off, which I'm going to, your firing order, if you look at your cylinders right here, you can tell your firing order. Now this is in line with the engine, so your coil is going to be in the center here, and then you're going to have cylinder 1, this is cylinder 3, so 1, 3, 4, and 2. 1, 3, 4, and 2 is the order on this distributor cap. So let's go ahead and pop these off so I can get this cap off. and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with marking everything so it all goes back in correctly. Okay, so hopefully you can see that I have marked the cam position sensor and the rotor button, the orientation. The rotor button's pointing right here, which I've marked this on the cam position sensor in the distributor. And then I also took just a little paint mark right there on the oil dipstick tube mount right there, because I know that'll stay in place. And on my motor mount, you can see I've made a little line right there where the cam position sensor is pointing, because this distributor, the whole thing is going to be coming out, but this cam sensor only goes in one way, as you can see. So the next one, there's like a little groove right there. That's the one I chose to mark, and the next one will have that same groove. And the key is you want to get a little mark you made on your rotor button and line it up perfect. Now whenever you pull this out, I believe it's called helical cut gears, this will actually retard back to probably about right here when you pull it out. So whenever you put the new one in, you need to twist it to where it's going to be, you know, back here, so it can twist around to line perfectly with your cam position sensor and the rotor button. And I mean, I've got enough marks here. I mean, I should be able to get the new one exactly like the old one. Just do not turn your Jeep over or move the Jeep once you get your distributor out. So the next thing we're going to do is actually pull the distributor out, and there's a little hold down. It's kind of hard to see. It's down here, and I don't know what size it is yet. I'll figure that out. So you need to take that bolt out, and then there's a little plate. You take the plate out, and then your distributor is just going to pop right out. Alright, I've got the assembly that holds the distributor down. Look how oily that is. This thing, I believe, needs a valve cover gasket. But anyway, so I've got this out. This was a 1/2 inch right here. It's easiest if you have a ratcheting 1/2 inch box wrench, but you'll probably need a magnet too, because mine fell down into the deep yonders right there, but I got a magnet and got it back out. So now I want to show you guys that we're about to actually take this distributor out. Now once you get it out, you'll have to unplug this cam sensor right here, but you can see sort of the way the distributor is mounted. It's kind of hard to see, but there's the hole and there's the actual bracket that holds the distributor. So whenever we lift up, you'll see you kind of got to get it some force. You'll see the distributor turn. See how it's turning? Alright guys, I was going to show you this, but it's going to take 2 hands. But this rotor right here, rotor button, is going to turn back. Just trust me. Alright, I'm feeling good because I can safely say that I don't think this distributor has been changed before. So that makes me feel good. I think I might be on the right track with this problem. So let's go ahead and get the new distributor out. And for the time being, take this blue rotor button off. Yours might not be blue. Take the rotor button off, put it on this distributor. The reason I say that is because that's where your mark is, to be able to realign things. But then in the end, take your new rotor button obviously and put it back on. So anyway, let's go ahead and try to get this thing aligned again. Okay, here's the new distributor, and as you can see, I've removed the rotor button and I've removed the camshaft position sensor. And I wanted to show you that little tab right there, right here, you're gonna have to pull out. You can see there's a little plastic piece sticking up, and that's the timing position for the 2.5 liter. Now we would definitely be using that if we had to do top dead center on this engine, but we do not have to do top dead center because I've got everything marked. So I'm going to remove that so I can actually twist the rotor and line all this up. Now I'm not very good at being able to film things in tight spaces, so I don't think I'll be able to film this very, you know, to my standards, but I'm going to try my best to show you exactly what to do. I really don't like making these tutorial videos because they take up so much time to show you guys and tell you guys. I'd rather just do it, but I felt like it's part of this Jeep, this cheap Jeep. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this tutorial so we can you know, learn a few things if you've never done something like this. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil. I think it's already pre-oiled, but you know, more oil never hurts on these gears. I'm gonna just put a little bit of motor oil on there and take this pin out, put my cam position sensor back in, and then my old rotor button right here, I've just popped it off, just slides off, and it only go in one way. Make sure to put that on so because your mark's on there to line everything back up. Now one more thing that I want to mention to you is that you see the blade on the very end down there, that right there, that's got a special spot on the oil pump that it sits down in there. And don't know if you can see it, but you're gonna have to get a flathead screwdriver. If this distributor doesn't want to set all the way down on the block, you need to get a flathead screwdriver and line that blade up so it sits down in the blade, because it'll be sitting on top of it and you'll have that much of a gap between the distributor and the block. Also make sure that your seal right here, you got a seal, make sure that don't slide off, because that's going to keep oil from coming out, you know, just making a mess whenever you get all this back together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the button and camshaft position sensor back on, and then hopefully get this blade lined up and it just slides right in and we're back in alignment. So let's try all that. Okay, so that went very smooth, like very, very smooth, almost to the point where I'm like, usually never things go that smooth for me. So anyway, I turned it back just a hair, lined it up with the blade down in the oil pump, and then everything just lined up. You can tell this is the mark for your cam position sensor. I just don't have it marked, but you can tell I still got my mark down here and it lines up with it. And my rotor button here, I got the mark up here and it lines up with it. And then this mark on the rotor button is on the camshaft mark as well. So everything is back in exactly like it was, and it's sitting down on the actual block, because I can feel it with my finger down there, and it is on the block. So everything's sitting exactly like it was. Now if this thing, if you go to start it and it won't start, there's a chance that you're a tooth off. So just take it back out, and you know, then I would suggest go to top dead center, and or you know, try a tooth backwards or a tooth forwards to see if it starts. And even if it starts and it's running rough, there's a chance you might be a tooth out. But if you mark everything like I've shown you, this should be foolproof. So anyway, let's go ahead and put the bolt back in to where you're good to go there. And then the next thing would be put my rotor button back on, the original, and then the cap back on, and plug everything back in, and we'll see if that fixed the problem. Well, I got it back on. That was kind of a pain to align, but it is possible. Just make sure you have your magnet ready in case you drop it. Now the foot-pounds on that, I'm not entirely sure. I don't have the service manual. Just don't be stupid. Don't barely tighten it, but don't over tighten it, like give your whole body strength. Just give it some, you know, a ugga-dugga or two. That's the foot-pound method that I use. Make sure you plug your cam position sensor back in right here that you had to unplug. I put my new rotor button on. And then if you want to look at your cap, you'll see this is kind of a square edged end, and this one's a rounded end. And if you look on your distributor, they'll match. The one on the right is square, the one on the left's rounded. So you really can't put this in backwards if you're paying attention. Also pay attention to that right there, because that goes towards the front, the grill. And then do your sequence of 1, 3, 4, 2 to plug your wires back in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, moment of truth. Did this distributor and new sensor and cap really fix my problems? Let's fire it up and let's see if it fixed it. Alright, she's running, so let's go ahead and pull it out and see. Usually it don't start the little hiccup thing until I've actually warmed it up. So let's go drive it around and see if this is fixed our issue before we dive into the plugs and all that good stuff. This is so suspenseful. I took it up here to the back of the property and I'm just waiting to see if this fixed my problem. Now before, if you can see the RPM gauge, it's setting around probably 750 or so, and it's pretty much warmed up. Now before, when it was warmed up, this would fluctuate. It would bounce down, up, bounce down, up, bounce down, up, and there'd be a popping coming from under the hood. I do not hear the popping yet, which is a good sign. It probably should have done it by now. And I mean, it's purring like a kitten. So I think I might have fixed this thing, guys. I'm extremely excited. Oh, and it has power. Before, it didn't have much power. I'd have to put it in 4 low, just climbing up this hill, because I feel like it just was wanting to fall on its face, which I've never owned a 4-cylinder, so I kind of chalked it up to being the 4-cylinder. But no, this thing with the 14 gears, I mean, it'll go. And it was just the distributor was really weakening it. But this, I'm gonna say right now, has fixed my problem, because it should have already done it. As you can see, it's already warmed up. There's no popping, and I think I fixed my issue. So I'm gonna drive it around and enjoy it a minute. I really don't need to do the wires and the cool and all that, but for the sake of this video, I might just go ahead and do it, but I'll let you know here in a minute. Alright, well, after driving for about 2 hours, I can safely say the distributor and cam sensor has fixed this Jeep. Now, I still want to hold true to what I was saying earlier and go ahead and do the spark plugs, and well, I've already done the wires, I'm going to show you that, and the cool, and just do a complete tune-up on this thing. And even though I've solved the problem, I still want to go ahead and do all the rest of it, just, you know, just say I did. So in case you haven't noticed, I opened my garage door, and since Hurricane Helene, our bridge got washed out, which is by my road. Well, this weekend they actually fixed the bridge, so it's going to be quite a bit of traffic on the road, so hopefully you can hear over me. But enough of that, what you're here for. The spark plug wires, as you can see, this one's 1, 3, 4, and 2, and this is your cool. So just follow 1 to 1, follow 3 right here, all the way around the cylinder 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4 cylinder. And then follow this one to 4, I mean, very self-explanatory. Follow this one to your cool right here. You can see this is your cool wire, and we're going to replace the cool here in a minute. So follow that one to the cool, and then this one is spark plug number 2. So let's go ahead and replace the cool. Down here, if you can see where I'm pointing, is the cool, and it's a 10 millimeter bolt. So go ahead and take that, unplug the cool. There's a connector right here. I wish you guys could see that. There's a connector that you got to unplug, and then there's a wire that you need to pop off, and then take those 2 bolts, those 10 millimeters off, and then pull your cool out, and we're going to replace it with this blue streak right here. And pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to bore you guys too much with this, but I'll get back to you once I take that off. Well, I got it out, and it sits in here like this. This is where your wire plugs in. This is your electrical connection. Funny enough, this isn't Mopar. This is a blue streak. Somebody has replaced the cool on this. From what I've found looking, the spark plug wires were numbered, the cylinders were numbered. This looks to be an aftermarket cool. It's just funny because it looks like they've done everything to try to fix this issue, but the stock distributor was still in there. So they did everything but the distributor, and the distributor is what fixed it. So I don't know if they just were afraid to do the distributor or what was going on, but anyway, this cool is still good. I'm just going to keep it as a backup, but I'm going to go ahead and put this new one that I bought in, and it just drops down just like this. Drops right down in there with those 2 bolts. So let's go ahead and put this on, and then we'll move to the plugs. Okay, new cool is in. Everything is good. Remember to start the Jeep one thing at a time. Remember, one thing at a time in case something screwed up and you just did 3 or 4 things. So started the Jeep, everything's good. Now let's move on to the spark plugs. Now the spark plugs is a very simple job. I've already undone the wires. As long as you know which wire goes where, you don't need to mark them, but if it makes you feel better, go ahead and mark your wires. And then this is going to be a 5/8 spark plug wrench. So put that down in there, or socket. Put that down in there. We're going to pull each plug out, and then we're going to make sure these new plugs are gapped to 0.35 on the spark plug gapper tool, which I've got. I'll show you guys that. And then put some anti-seize on there. That's always good practice so these plugs don't get stuck. And we'll just go from there. So let me go ahead and pull all these spark plugs out. Well, all the plugs are out, and they actually look just fine, and they're champion plugs, which tells me somebody has been in here before, and which this Jeep has 163,000 miles on it, so I know somebody's been in here before. But these look like newer plugs. So it looks like the previous owner has replaced the plugs. He didn't do the wires, but the plugs and the cool to try to fix the issue, but he didn't do the sensor with distributor and the wires, and you may know the distributor fixed it. So anyway, let's go ahead and take our new plug here, and let me get you guys set up to where you can see what I'm doing. This is NGK. I've always had pretty good luck with NGK, and we're going to take our spark plug gap tool, and we're going to look for 0.035, which is right here on our gap tool. I don't know if that'll focus, but trust me, it's 0.035. And just make sure that the factory gap, and it stops right there at 0.035. Make sure all 4 plugs are gapped correctly, and then we're going to spread a little bit of anti-seize, not much, just a little bit right there, and then put them down in the engine, then turn them. I mean, it's as simple as that. Alright, so you take your torque wrench here and make sure it's at 27 foot-pounds. And once you have it set at 27 foot-pounds, go ahead and put it in. Alright, make sure your spark plug socket is seated on the plug, and then torque it until you hear it click. Just like that, for 27 foot-pounds. Lastly, follow your plugs. This one right here is plug number 1. So make sure that it goes into plug number 1. And you want to feel and listen for like the click. You can feel it. It'll just click right on to the stud of the spark plug. That one clicked on. Oh, and this one's number 2. This one here is number 3. It's this one, number 3. Make sure that it clicks into place just like that. And this one here is number 4. We're going to click it in. So as I've stated multiple times in this video, 1, 3, 4, 2, and the coil. And now you're all good to go. I mean, that's the entire tune-up on a 2.5 Jeep YJ. Now, I know that I've went, you know, a little quick in some spots, slow in some spots. I mean, I'm not a mechanic, even though I got my certified YouTube mechanic hat on. I just, you know, do this stuff on the side, and one, to make sure I know it's done right, because when you take it to a mechanic, you never know what you're going to get unless you really trust them. And 2, I just I enjoy doing this stuff. But and there you go, it's running, it's all done. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Project Cheap Jeep. The next time, whether it be working on something else on it, we're going to go take it and have a little bit of fun. I hope to go take it and have a little bit of fun with this Jeep. I hope you've enjoyed this. All in all, I got $3,200 in it now for a really clean little fun YJ. So next thing is just go out and enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Leave me a comment down below. And when it comes to Jeeps, keep it classic.